Thank you all for being here to testify. Like so many millions of people, I watched the events of October 7th with unbridled horror. I found it hard to wrap my head around the magnitude of the brutality, the nature of the butchery, the murder of whole families, the rape of women, the desecration of bodies, the burning families alive, families clutching each other, lying in bed as they were machine gunned. And I asked myself, how is it possible that people could commit such acts of barbarism? And I think I probably speak for many in the Jewish community when I say that as horrifying and traumatizing it was to witness that, it amplified the pain to see the reaction, the almost immediate reaction in the United States and around the world was to not condemn the butchers, but to condemn the victims, to celebrate Hamas's acts of unbridled terror. And then I asked myself a different question: how is it possible that people could justify the butchery of whole families, the wanton, deliberate violence directed against these innocent civilians? How could that be celebrated? And I don't think it can be celebrated unless you view Israeli life, unless you view Jewish life as somehow less than a human life. We spend a lot of time debating the definition of anti-Semitism. I'm not sure I could give you a clear analytic answer to that question, but it seems to me at its most basic, viewing Jewish life as less than human life is the very definition of anti-Semitism, or it's certainly anti-Semitism in its most extreme form. And what I see happening on college campuses with a glorification, with people talking about how empowered they felt at seeing women butchered, peace activists mowed down, the fact that many Jewish students don't feel comfortable expressing their Jewish identity, at a time of their lives when they should be free to discuss whatever issues they want, free to be themselves, is just horrifying. I remember years ago talking to the president of the Jewish community in France at a time when many Jews were leaving France because they didn't feel safe there. And he told me the French government was doing what they could to protect the Jewish community, but who wanted to live in a country where you needed protection? And I remember thinking years ago, thank God that's not the case in the United States, but now it is the case. And not for Jews alone. We've seen a horrific rise of Islamophobia. Even as we mourn the death of an older Jewish man in Los Angeles who died when struck at a protest, we mourn the loss of a 6-year-old Muslim child. It's just horrifying.